Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday afternoon. How are you? I am once again in the Crafty Bunch, and we're doing a Sunday event called Today. It's all about nativities or manger scenes. And I'm always excited to be able to come into the Crafty Bunch and share some fun activities with you that I do with clay. Have you ladies been watching all of the other crafters? I hope so, because there's been a lot of beautiful things that have been done. Miss Judy from Wyatt's Whatnots just got finished, and up next is going to be, hey, Debbie, how are you? It's good to have you here. And like I said, as you're coming on, as Debbie just did, please send some comments my way. If you're not a fan or a follower yet, I would super duper love it if you would go ahead and tap around my nose area if you're on your phone, and the little dots will come up and you can follow me on my Crafting with Kim page. Hi there. You already sprinkled me into the Crafty Bunch. Thank you so much, Angie. Yeah, this is a Crafty Bunch event, and we're all doing some really great things with mangers or nativities. And like I said, Judy's got her thing going on, and then Miss Wendy from I think it's Simply Bewitching Crafts. I believe it's after me. I do have an hour today, which is good because as usual with my stuff, I usually have quite a bit of time going on to show you the procedures of what I'm working with the polymer clay. If you're not familiar with me, then that's pretty much what you see. I do work with polymer clay. And if you're a newbie, please tell me where you're from. I would love to get some new people and chatting, about all kinds of. Today, I'm going to chat with you as we're talking. We're going to go over a little bit about some Christmas songs and maybe talk a little bit about the season. Hey, Linda, how are you? It's good to have you here. I've got some of my diehard clay fans in the house, so that's great. So, like I said, as you're popping on, I'm giving everybody a couple minutes here to kind of get orientated and get on here. And yeah, I'm actually still watching Miss Judy on the other page, but that's okay. Like I said, I'm already rolling on this one here. So, like I said, what I'm going to be doing today is working with my polymer clay as I usually do. I'm trying to do something a little bit different, which I normally do, but I'm going to show you, since I have a little bit more time, I think I'm actually going to show you how I condition the clay, or basically get it ready, because usually on my lives. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? It's good to have you here. Everybody come on and say hello. Let me know where you're coming from. If you got snow seasons going on up there, I am in Florida. You can see I'm in a short sleeve shirt. It's about 70 some today. Let's see if I can get myself pulled up here on the Crafty Bunch on my phone. There I am. Cool. Yay, I can see me. I'm on a double screen now. Okay, so yeah, like I said, I'd love to, if you're not watching this during the live, which is a little button up at the top there, I always go opposite because my screen does opposite the right way. All right, it's unmirrored. But that is the live button. And if you're not watching that, watching during that live button, then go ahead and hit hashtag replay and get yourself in there and send me some comments and send me some love. Sprinkle me out, do all the good stuff. Hey there, Miss Mary. How are you doing? I know you're in the lineup somewhere. I did see your name, but I can't exactly remember exactly what time you're coming on. And all the lineup is posted in my page, ladies. And I've got a lot of links to different things up there. The Crafty Bunch and the links to all the other presenters are in there. So if you're having problems on the Crafty Bunch, if you're not a Crafty Bunch member, please go ahead and join that. And if you are already, and sometimes Facebook glitches a little bit, you can go hit the links on the next presenters and see and go to their pages personally. It's snowing where you live. Where are you, Rebecca? I'd like to know where everybody's at. Like I said, everybody talks about snow and it's all beautiful, but everybody knows that I live in Florida for a reason. I don't care for it. I don't care for cold and snow weather. So it's about 70 some, a little overcast, but it's 70s and it's still short enough. I mean, for me to wear short sleeves, and I can actually wear shorts. Hey there, there's Kim. There's thing one. We decided last night that since there's two Kims in the Crafty Bunch crew, I'm going to be thing two. She's thing one. Okay. Cause she's been in the Crafty Bunch longer than I have, but we're both Kims. And upstate New York. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, cold. Yeah, no, I've been there. I used to live in Connecticut, and I've lived in Montana, and I've lived in North Carolina. So I've had my years of snow country. And like I said, that's why I live in the snow Sun Belt. All right, I think we're kind of caught up enough. We're going to go ahead and start working on the what I'm going to be doing today. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I have a my stuff is kind of close up work, so I like to put my screen down on my table so you can kind of see a little bit better idea what I'm going to be working on. So I will be switching my screen down. It's snowing here too, Christy. Where are you from? I'll be able to read comments and whatnot, but you won't be able to see my face unless I bring the camera back up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that so you guys can see what's up. Yeah, go ahead and bring in your comments. And as I'm switching my cameras over, and then I'll start explaining a little bit of what I'm going to be doing here. I got myself a new camera, and I think I'm liking it. It's very crisp and clear. It sometimes it does that autofocus thing, which kind of annoys me, where it goes and it'll go in and out. But I think for the most part, it's pretty good because I'm not super duper close. Oh, you're in Connecticut. Okay, I used to live in Danbury. Oh, I'm sorry. No offense to anybody, but I didn't like it. I lived up there for about about 5 years, I guess. Anyway, that was many moons ago. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing today, like I said, I feel like I can kind of slow and relax a little bit because I've got enough time to kind of show you a little bit. I'm going to be working with polymer clay. This is a Sculpey. This is with the Super Sculpey. If you've seen me before, you know I use this a lot. It's one of my faves. But also, you can get the next favorite for me for people cost effectively is there's a Craftsmart brand, and it comes in these blocks they call them, and that's how they come. But I thought I might show you real quickly how I get to this point, because what is all this little mess? Well, you're going to find out in a second. But what most people do with polymer clays is you can make it into, roll it in balls and make figurines and whatnot. But also a lot of times you make it into these little slabs, these little flexible slabs. Thank you, Miss Melanie, for sprinkling me out. Hey, doll. She loves it when I call her doll. That's why I do it. And sometimes I say doll, sweetie, honey, whatever it is. I don't know. I just like to use those terms. I think they're cute. All right. So anyway, so this is just a little bit of brick. I'm just going to do a quick sample here because I don't want to get too involved with it. But I take my little blade here. This is a tissue blade, and I slice it off usually in some fairly small little slivers. Because depending on your weather conditions, if it's colder out, your clay is going to be a little stiffer. If it's warm, it'll be nice and soft. But you usually start out like this. And the reason that you have to do this, I know you love it when I call you doll. So the reason you have to do this is you have to get your clay ready. We got a Facebook user. It's hello lady. Not sure who you might be. Let me see. If you're not signed up with me through Facebook through StreamYard. StreamYard sees you as a Facebook user, but I'm actually looking on my phone, so maybe I'll be able to tell who that might be. But Facebook person that just said hello lady, if you could tell me your name, I'd really appreciate it. It's probably somebody I know. It might be Lisa, or it could be Karen, several of my other friends that I'm encouraging to get on and watch me a little bit here and there. So anyway, what you can see I'm doing, I'm just kind of like, Play-Doh. This is a stiffer, this clay, like I said, it's firmer for doing certain things. That's why I like it. So it's a little bit firmer, but I usually kind of put it in my hands and then I'll roll it around. Oh, it's Jan. Jan, how come you're not showing up with your name? I don't know. All right, so I'm just kind of rolling it around. This one conditions pretty fast. Excuse me for the rolling on the table like that. It kind of like, because it's my tables. I got a like a set up portable table, in my studio. So sometimes it's when I roll it on the camera like that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just kind of doing this number right here. Now, if I need to start getting it flatter, what I do, yeah, I don't know that. I think you'd probably have to go in and Jan and put your name up there, like in that little link at the top in the description where it says, if you're not a Facebook user, whatever, a StreamYard user, need to recognize your name, then go ahead and do that. So you can see here, what I'm doing is I just start rolling it out. And depending on what I need, the thickness and whatever will depend on how, what project I'm doing, depending on how thick. Usually with polymer clay, you can go real thin. A lot of people like to do jewelry and earrings and necklaces and they'll go pretty thin and they'll mix different clays together. One of these days, I'm going to show you how to do blendings and coloring with different clays, but I just haven't got there yet because I've got so much going on. But on my video course, if you're interested, I go through all that. Anyway, so yeah, so this is just kind of like a real quick version. Then I have a pasta maker that like rolls by hand and I'll roll it through there and get it nice and consistent. But that's just a quick version of how to kind of like start flattening your clay out and get it to where you need it, of course, depending on your size and whatnot. Linda says, we're in upstate New York. Rebecca, I'm from, oh, okay, she's talking to Rebecca. Gotcha. Born and raised, moved to Tennessee. Yes, Tennessee is beautiful area as well. Okay, so what am I doing? This looks like a little bit of what? I don't know. But what I'm going to be doing, oh, she says, every time I pick up a block of clay, I wonder if I could be able to squeeze it enough to get it soft. Well, that's why actually, Melanie, if you start with little slivers like that, just take a little bit, because if people sometimes, if they have arthritis, which I do, but if you get it straight out of the block, it shouldn't be really, really, really stuck. This particular one that I was just telling you about, this is the firmest probably besides Kato clay, I believe, are the are Cernet's another like brand. They're stronger, they're firmer. So if you get like that Craft Smart or something like that, they are they're softer and they're really not that hard to manipulate. So you just kind of make sure that when you're getting them to a certain point that you can actually fold it over and it won't crack on you. See how I can actually fold this and make a nice fold and it doesn't like split and crack on me. So that's kind of what you want to do with conditioning. And I just tore that apart, but that ain't no thing neither. All right, so what am I going to be doing? So this little guy, it looks kind of weird. I just did like a little quick mock-up drawing here. It's going to be sort of a modern sort of kind of feel. I do have one that's already baked and ready to paint, but I'm going to show you the process of doing this. And you can see how I work it because the one thing, you know, a lot of people, if they've used air dry clay or they've worked in doing modeling as a kid or whatever, usually you take like a big old clump of clay and you just, you know, you form it out to whatever. But with polymer clay, this is a way that you, number one, it's a little bit more, it's not crazy pricey. It says Kim makes the coolest stuff. Oh, that's, thank you, Kim. Thank you, thing one. I got some of her clay work from her auction. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I got your goodies too, and I love them as well. But yeah, so when you're working with polymer clay, and you don't have to. Now, here's the difference between polymer clay and air dry clay. Polymer clay, you can get really thin. It's a plastic base that sticks together. If you got a good quality clay, you can get it like super thin. But when you're using air dry clay, it needs to be thicker. It won't hold up to that. So that's the two main differences. And of course, one you have to bake and one you have to air dry. But so when I do these kind of pieces like figurines, sometimes I will do a solid piece, but you're kind of wasting your clay. You don't need to do all that. So I'm going to show you like how you do it without wasting your clay. Is that you get a little armature. What is this? This is a piece of aluminum foil. Doesn't look like anything pretty fancy, but I'm going to use this underneath my little guy. This is Joseph and Mary and Jesus. And I'm just going to put it on like that to give it a little bit more shape. And that way it almost looks like a solid piece when it's baked and whatever. Thing one, yeah, exactly. I'm thing two and she's thing one. I thought that was pretty cool. I love Dr. Seuss, by the way, you guys. All right. Anyway, so the first thing I did is, of course, I've got my little guy here. I cut him out. I just hand drew this and got it similar to something I was looking at online, and I'm kind of going based on that. And then I took a piece of aluminum and I kind of made it a little bit the shape. I don't want it too big. If you want it to be really big, then you make a larger mound or whatever, a larger armature. But I wanted it to be, you know, just something that I could sit over here just to give it a little bit more of a curved shape. And you want to make sure that it's smaller than what your actual size is because you have your curves on the edges to go over. All right. So my next thing is once I've got that done, then I got my clay ready to go. I'm just gonna cut it out. I'm gonna take an X-Acto knife here. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? Miss Wendy's up next. She's after me. Like I said, Wendy's got some cool stuff, man. She always does really neat stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut this out around here. This is, you know, I love working with the clay. Number one, it's like smooth. It feels good in your hands. It's very therapeutic. I don't need his head. What am I doing, Kim? I don't need to cut out his head because I'm going to do a separate, I will do a solid head. But yeah, I'm just cutting out the body right now on this. If it's not exact, don't worry about it because you can always go back and trim off extra pieces because I don't ever cut straight, honestly. You can go ahead and take that off. But yeah, I like the clay because it's smooth and it just feels good in your hand. It's almost like a little bit of therapy to me. All right, so we're going to take that part away. And hopefully I've got it cut out big enough. I always just kind of keep my extra little pieces aside because I never know if I'm going to need them and they're already rolled out. Why roll it into another big old ball? that I might not need. Oop, that was my little cheap thing underneath. I had to add a little extra. I taped it on the back there. Uh, you want to make everything, well, hey, you know what? Do it. You know, you got clay, and I tell you, you guys keep saying, you know, I've got that little video course, and it'll walk you through real easy, step by step. All right. So now what I'm doing is I'm just doing this for size. I'm not doing it yet because I have to do, well, actually I could just lay it on there. It doesn't matter. I'm going to be forming it. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to be baking this one. This is just for to show you how the process went, but I'm going to be forming it like this. And what you would do is form it and get it down. It is very pliable, so you can work it down on your surface and get it to where it'll just stay down there, because you want it to go all the way to the edges. And you can do that with your hands. You can do that with your fingers, something like that. Okay. And if your edges aren't as pretty as you would like them, like I said, you can always manipulate them. You can add a little bead of something around it just to kind of finish it out and make it look prettier if you want. Okay, so that's that. Now I need to do Mary. And the way I did Mary is, I got a little bit of aluminum foil in there. I don't need that. So Mary, you can see she's like right inside Joseph. And so what I'm going to do with that, instead of cutting her out, because I wanted to keep the image, I got a little thin stylus like this. And so basically, painting crafted family in Clinton. Oh, Massachusetts. Okay, glad you guys are talking once amongst yours. I'll try to catch up all the comments. As Chromie crafts, I want to make them. Yeah, okay. So what I'm doing with Mary is, even though I drew her out, I'm going to go a little bit bigger on her because I knew that I needed to do this for my piece of my aluminum for armature. But what I'm doing basically is I'm just outlining her with a little stylus tip point like that, so I can get a basic outline before I cut it out. So I don't have to actually have a cutout. Of course, you know, cookie cutters work great for this as well. But if you don't have that and you just want to draw something, this is how you basically draw into the clay. All right, and then let me see, I get the back area there. I don't know where to cut her on the back. And then that point, you've got like the image into the clay, and then you just cut around it and cut it out. All right, that looks really wonky, don't it? When I was looking, it reminded me of like a tadpole. I'm like, what is that little tadpole looking thing? But, you know, when it was all said and done, oh, I forgot a step, guys. I forgot this. Before I go cutting this out, I'm glad I thought about this. I decided I wanted to put a little texture on Mary. I didn't want her just to be solid like Joseph's little robe is. I wanted to put something neat on her. Let me get Joseph over here. Move over, Joseph. You got get out of the way for a second there. Miss Mary's taking over. She's the one's got the baby anyway. You need to take care of her. Okay. Can you make sculptures? Absolutely. Yes, you sure can. Like anything I just showed you, what you do with sculptures, thing one, is that you start with an armature. Either be a lot of people do start with, they use aluminum foil. They make a straight, whether it be like a full person body or whatever you want to do. You make just a quick body shape or a head or whatever, and then you give that base of something for it to be solid inside, and you actually bake that in there, and then you add your clay to it and you build up. That's even the case with modeling clay. A lot of times people will use armatures and do modeling and things like that. Okay, so what I did here, I got this little doily, and I want some texture on her. So I'm just going to put the doily where I think that I want to have the texture on the body. And the reason I do it before I cut it out is because I have to roll it, and if I don't do that, then it will misshape the clay. Like it'll make the clay not be the shape if you want. If you want it to be real exact, it's better to roll your design on first. So I just put a couple rolls on it. These look really cool. Wow, I love that. I just love pulling those off and seeing that right there. See, isn't that cool? All right, so I'm not going to obviously use all of that. I'm just going to take out what I need from Mary, and we're going to cut around that. So yeah, you can definitely, a lot of people, if you start looking around and doing some Googling and look at Pinterest and see the amazing things that can be done with the polymer clay. I mean, it just, like I said, it just always, that's what got me into it, to tell you the truth. You know, I was doing a lot of regular crafting and painting and things of that nature. And then I had played with clay for years, just offhandedly here and there. But when I started, you know, learning more about it and seeing how it can just open up your mind to a lot of different things that you can do with it, that's when I started going for it. And I love it. And there's still so many things that I have not done on lives to show you guys what you're capable of doing with it. just kind of do some real basic things here. Okay, so that, yeah, like it looks really kind of strange, doesn't it? Because it looked like a amoeba or something. That's the best thing I could come up with. I make sculptures out of foil with masking tape. Yes, absolutely. Yes, I used to do a lot of life casting, like full body casting with silicones and molds, and I've done masks when Vegas, when I used to be one of the main mask makers at a show I was in, and I've done that. I've worked with kids making masks and all sorts of things. So that's gonna kind of fit pretty good. We're gonna see how it works when I get her on top of Joseph and get that sounds kind of like it could be a little, I don't know, on top of Joseph. We won't go there. All right, anyway, we're going to put her right on top of him, and it's going to be kind of like that. And she looks a little bit big right now, but that's because I need to put this in here. I know you guys, the comment. Mary on top of Joseph. All right. Well, that's how you make babies, although this one wasn't like that. We all know Jesus had nothing to do with Joseph as far as the regular conception goes. And speaking of which, anybody go to you guys, most of you guys church attenders on Sunday. I have a church and I go there. Sometimes if I can't make it, like when I do lives, I watch online. They go online and on YouTube, and I love watching them and being a part of my church body. And yeah, he always has a good message. He actually had a kind of a Christmas message today, which was really cool. This is PGG's. I know, I'm sorry. I know sometimes the things come out of my mouth. Here I am talking about Jesus, and here I'm making a comment like that. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So, like I said, I think I always thought it looked really strange, but when it came together, it actually looked okay. So I'm putting her on top like that. And I almost wondered when I did my other one's a little bit different, and you can see if that might be a little bit too big for her, but I don't think so. I think she's kind of cool. So at this point, I've got that part on. All right. And then what I did is I got to make a little baby Jesus. And I would, like I said, you push this down, you get it a little bit more so your edges are nice and clean. I'm going a little bit faster because if you're doing it on your own, you would definitely, get in there. And the way you can do that too is two ways. You got these little tools like this, these like little silicone tips. There's lots of different ones. You can actually press it down in there like that and smooth it and get it clean. A lot of times I like to use these ball stylus, and I can do it like that, okay, and manipulate them and kind of press them and get them like that. Those are the two main things I use for that. So I just need to do a little bit I need to make her face. And the way I did that is just basically take a little ball of clay, and I got to do his head too, don't I? He's headless right now. All right. And I still need to paint my other one, so I can't just lollygag around and have 2 hours. I do need to have a little bit of moment here, fastness. All right, so I think I'm gonna cut that down a little bit and just kind of shape her face. Like I said, the clay feels so nice and smooth. Like it almost feels like you're getting like some sort of therapy in your hands. I don't know, like you're getting not a massage, but like you go to the nails place and they put all that therapy and the paraffin on your hands. It's kind of what it feels like to me. It just feels nice and fun. And it's just so cool because it's relaxing and you just kind of mold and shape to the way you want it. All right, so I've got her face in there. And what I did with that is I actually took these little guys here and I carved it so it looks more like her face. This one honestly doesn't look as good as the other one because I'm having to kind of move a little bit faster than normal. But all right, let me get his head on there too. All right, so basically head's easy. Okay, we're just gonna put his head on there and make it to size. I kind of form it down like this, and that's too small. Get a bigger head. I think I was gonna do this head. Joseph's got a big old noggin. This one's a big one. And then I get the little swaddling of Jesus and the little head. Like I said, this is just more of an impressionistic kind of I don't know what you would call this style per se. It just looks kind of modern to me, but I thought it was kind of neat. I saw another version and I thought, yeah, I'm going to work up my own thing. But anyway, so yeah, going to get the head on there. The head's still too small, if you ask me. I'm going to put all this on here. So I am doing if you didn't want to do a solid head, you could do that. If you don't waste the clay, do a little ball of aluminum, and then you can just add the clay around it and get it nice and smooth like that. Okay. All right. So there's Joseph. All right. And then let's see. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to know what you guys. I looked up. I started thinking like Christmas songs. Well, there's a zillion of them out there. Does anybody have a favorite Christmas song that has to do with Jesus or, his birth and all that sort of thing? What is your favorite one? I'll tell you, mine is "Oh Holy Night." I just love that song. Sometimes it actually, when they say "fall on your knees," it actually makes me cry because it's just it to me. I just have that visualization of that. So anybody can tell me what their favorite spiritual Christmas song might be, since we are focusing on Jesus and the mangers and all that today. What I'm doing right now is I'm just carving out his shape of his hair, like a hairline. Oh, Holy Night, that's your favorite? Yeah, that's mine too. I actually looked up as well to see like how many songs there were. There's a lot more than I realized. I picked out a top, I guess, 12 or so, 10, I think top 10. And I'll run through those, but I kind of wanted to get everybody's thought process through like what their favorite spiritual Christmas song might be. Away in a Manger. Oh, I forgot about that one. I haven't heard that. And that was very appropriate for this, isn't it? That's very appropriate, isn't it? Oh, wait. Oh, I can't sing. Darn it. I don't sing, but I like to sing. I get in trouble with Facebook. Facebook, don't flag me. I'm just trying to sing a pretty Christmas song. All right. So anyway, yeah. So I just kind of made a little, so you can kind of see a little bit of his, look like his face. All right. Now for the other one, for Jesus, we're just gonna do another like little flat rolly piece, sort of. Drummer Boy, A Little Town of Bethlehem. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's a great one. Oh, let's see. I can't sing. I want to sing. I know. I got the inspiration from Deborah on Sacred Soul. She was doing that. And I love that, doing the trivia with songs because I love music. And then I started thinking about Christmas songs. Everybody playing Christmas songs? Do you guys play a lot of Christmas songs during the year, during the season? I mean, I absolutely love them. I worked retail for many years, and you think people would get sick of hearing Christmas songs after a while because they play them for so long. But I really liked them. I liked Christmas songs. So, Baby Jesus, you're a little bit big there, or your little swaddling is. Drummer Boy. I play them while I clean. Yeah, I just, it kind of helps me get in the spirit of things, honestly. That's why I listen to the songs. So this is going to be stuck up in there, like that. All right. And then what I need to do before I even do that, I take my little stylus ball here and make me like a little dip in there. I play them in my car. I play them at home. I live with my husband, and then we have a roommate, and neither one of them are like, huge Christmas people. So I play them to try to get everybody motivated, and me too. All right, so that's kind of it. I did him. Now you can put a little cross hatch on this with some, get you a tool of any sort, and just kind of do that. That's going to be like his. Actually, it's not really. I'm thinking it's a nest, but it's not a nest. It's just closed, but just for a little texture. And that's kind of basically how it turned out. But now I'm going to switch to the version because I got enough time here. Okay. So you saw the basic idea. Now you can do a lot with this. You could add more textures to his, and I would definitely, like I said, work it so this is down a little bit more. But I would add a little bit of a bead around here, which you'll see the one I've got next coming up here. But that's generally how you would make something like that work. Okay, now let me get this out of the way, and I'm going to switch gears. Oh, I have this too on the side. This is a couple of colors that I blended together that's kind of like a real pretty blues with a little kind of a marbling effect. I love that. And I was going to use this little strip maybe to go down the side of his robe. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to integrate that on the other one because I'd have to rebake it. I'm going to kind of play with that and see. But we're going to switch gears for a second. Now, let me get this out of the way and bring this over. All right. So I did a lot of different things on this one too. What I'm going to be doing is it's got a background here. And what I did, this is a piece of the same clay, but I did put a little bit of some color on here. I used a clay, kind of a clay tone and a little bit of tan, and just kind of put a color because I want it to be, it's going to be kind of clays and looks like navy, got blue tones and whatnot. You can see I've got some bubbles in here, by the way. That actually happens when you bake it, and those really shouldn't, you shouldn't have those. And if you're baking it correctly, what happens is when it lays down, sometimes there's air pockets, and I should have taken the time to get those out. But since this is a very rough piece, I'm not so worried about that. Thank you, Tanya, for sprinkling me out. I really appreciate that. So I kind of like the ruggedness of it, so it didn't bother me too much. But if you're doing something really precise, you want to make sure that you don't have air pockets. And like I said, I explain all that in my other course and whatnot. All right. So, but what I did is I got this really, I want it to be kind of a stone fill. And you can see here what I did with this is I took my stamp. I didn't have anything Christmassy, so I took this as the closest I had. I had this rubber stamp, and I didn't stamp it with ink, which you can do, but I stamped it when it was still raw. I used paint. I used acrylic paint, and I just put the paint in there and stamped it. And this is from Song of Songs. Found the one who my soul loves. I thought was fairly appropriate for Christmas, for the manger scene. So I got that, and I've got one of these little, cheapy balsa wood things from the Dollar Tree, and I did cut it down a little bit to size. All right, and then what I'm going to do is put that on there. I'm going to paint that, and then I'm going to add that on there and color it all up. And I've got a cool little star, and I'm going to put star up top. You can see I used the star. I used a different color clay, and I added a little stamp. I had actually like a little funky cookie cutter here, and I cut that out, and then I cut my little holes out. If you don't have hole cutters, you can use a straw. A straw looks really good for cutting things out like that. All right, so that's walking you through the process. Now, first thing I need to do, though, is I need to go ahead and paint this. Thinking I probably should have done that beforehand, but I thought I'd have enough time. All right, so more people. Let's hub in a little bit. What's your favorite spiritual Christmas song? And then I'll give you a rundown, because a lot of times people might not remember some of them, because I was like, oh yeah. One of the ones that's kind of a newer song, it's not always Christmas based, but it definitely works, is and this one makes me cry, guys, I'm telling you. As Mary Did You Know? And I love the pentatonics version of that. You guys ever heard that song? Mary Did You Know? That's all I'm going to say, because I'm going to get in trouble. And that song is just like, ooh, that song's strong. That's a strong song. But okay, so I'm just running some paint on here. Nothing fancy. This is just umber. I want it to be dark, so I'm doing a dark tones here. All right. And I put a little bit of water, to wash it, to make it go faster. Plus, I kind of like the look of the wood showing through. Like I said, this is more of a rustic look that I'm going for here. Yeah, that song, isn't that a beautiful song? Oh, it's brought tears to my eyes many times when I listen to it. Because if you really listen intently to the words of the songs, we all love the melodies, but the words and the meanings, it's like, and then it's kind of neat to do research on like when the person that wrote the song, what they was going through their mind, or what they had going on in their heart when they wrote the songs. It's like, wow, it's pretty cool. Pretty intense. To love that. I was just having a conversation with my friend about that a few minutes ago, about Jesus and the birth of Jesus and everything like that. So you guys know, or do you not know, that I don't get into this. I don't want to get into very theology and everything, but a lot of you guys aware that Jesus really wasn't born on December 25th? Yeah, I don't want to make anybody upset or like spoil it like I'm telling you there's no Santa Claus, but or whatever. But do you guys realize that he wasn't really born on December 25th? And I do love that song. Yes, I love that one. Let me give the rundown on the other songs. I know I'm changing subjects, but I'm just kind of thinking off the top of my head. Get back to the song thing for a second. So, songs. Oh, Little Town of Bethlehem. We did touch on that one. O Come Emmanuel. All right. O Come Emmanuel. Okay, like I said, I don't want to sing them because I don't want to get in trouble. Otherwise, I would. And then we got First Noel, the First Noel, like that one. Then we also have, what else I got here? Joy to the World. Okay, I heard that one last night. We went to a boat regalia in Florida. We do water boat parades. And there was one, we went and saw the lighted up boats. Kind of cool. Anybody ever seen that? I put a little bit of Facebook post out there, but it wasn't working. Couldn't get my signal to take, but it was pretty cool. So yeah, they do the things with the boats. So anyway, I heard that one last night. Oh, come, oh, Holy Night, which we mentioned before. That was my favorite. Then we got Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Boat Parade is so cool. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever been to one of those? I mean, they only do them at Christmas, so unless you're in the in the Sun Belt or down in the Florida areas where they got water, you wouldn't see it. But you can obviously go online and look at them too any time of the year. But yeah, it was pretty cool. They get pretty cool with them. If you got a good one, one in St. Augustine, Florida is really awesome as well. What other songs we got? Oh, all time favorite. Who doesn't love Silent Night now? Come on. Silent Night. That's awesome. That is a beautiful song. Silent Night. Oh, come, all you faithful. My voice just went out on me. What child is this? Isn't that a beautiful one? I love that one. What child is this? Okay, so that when I'd watered it down like that, it almost looks kind of like a stain effect, which is kind of what I wanted to go with anyway. How much time? Oh, I keep looking at my time. I'm doing good, you guys. Love Silent Night, absolutely. What child is I really like? We Three Kings. Okay, that's another one. You guys remember that one? And then I had A Little Town of Bethlehem, which I think, like I said, we mentioned before. So those were the top 10, but there are more. I mean, I was like, wow, there's a lot more than I realized. Okay, so I've got that on there. I'll probably find some kind of pretty little ribbon or something to put up there instead of just putting that little piece of jute things that comes with these. So I'm going to put this on here. I did want to age my sides up a little bit. I'm going to use a little bit of that umber as well. So I'm going to put that aside and let that finish drying. Let me take a little bit of that, but I only want it watered down. Let me see. Had to play Silent Night for my piano recital when I was a kid. Oh, so you play piano, Kim? That's awesome. That's cool. You still play? I have an ex-husband that played piano. He was a musician. I've had several, and actually my mom played as well. I come from a musical background. I don't sing and I don't play an instrument. I guess I got the visual part of it, but but I love music. I love music. Yeah, my mom played keyboards and guitar and whatnot. My dad did a little bit of everything. So yeah, I love music. Had to play. So do you still play, Kim? You still play piano? And what kind of style of music do you like? So anyway, yeah, I can see what I'm doing here is I'm just putting on like a little bit of brush and out. And this is obviously you could say sometimes you see that I use the raw clay. This one's been baked, so it paints a little differently. The one thing that's kind of nice about the raw clay, it's a little sticky and it's kind of nice because it just holds really well. This one is more like painting sort of ceramics where it just kind of sits on top. And I've got it watered down a little bit, so it's not, if you paint it solid, it'll be a little bit different. But you just got to work. It's a different surface from painting on, like, say, canvas or wood or something like that. So I'm just going to kind of bat it down a little bit, take a little bit of it off. Didn't want it to be too overdone. I just wanted enough to just kind of blend in a little bit with the background there, sort of. Okay. Of course, even with an hour, if I don't get this done, I'll definitely post it on the thing when I get it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this onto here, of course, but I don't know if I'm going to glue it quite yet because I could probably go ahead and glue this piece on here because this one's not going to go anywhere. But as far as attaching this one on top, I don't know if I will do that yet because I'm thinking that I might want to try to put that little strip of that banner on there once I get this painted. Anyway, so I got that going on. Now, you know what? I think I'll go ahead and glue this guy now. Why not? I got my hot glue gun ready to go. Okay. Yeah, anybody else play piano or an instrument? We can go that route too. I took piano lessons when my daughter took lessons, was playing chords and all, but now I lost it. Don't remember anything. Oh, yeah. Yeah. If you don't use it, you lose it. I played the flute, I think, when I was like in sixth grade. I learned how to play Pink Panther. I think that was the only thing I remember that I could ever play. And then I didn't do it anymore. It was just one of those, school things. And then I did learn how to play one song on the piano. I think when my mom taught me like this 1 3 chord song. It's old Marty Robbins song that I used to listen. I still listen a lot of country music. So yeah. Anyway, so I'm doing a little bit of this hot glue and a little bit of this Gorilla Glue. Love the Gorilla. I'm really liking that. It's like E6000, but I think it actually sets up a little bit quicker than E6000. So I'm just going to put that on top of there, like that. Okay. Oh yeah, you're just asking. Well, I just answered it. I didn't even look up. But yeah, this is a Gorilla. It's the Gorilla Glue version of E6000, and they were out of E6000 at Walmart, so I just grabbed this. A little bit more expensive, but I do like it, and I think it's a little. I like it because it sets up a little quicker. It's actually pretty fast setting, but it's got the same properties and textures as E6000. So I don't know, a little bit more costly, but hey, to me, it's kind of I like it better, so I'll pop the extra buck for it. Oh, that's the one we're talking about. Mary, did you know? Oh, that song. Oh, that song. Just like every time I hear it, I just want to cry. It just, it does it for me. I'm telling you guys, that brings out my spiritual stuff. All right, so there is that so far. Now, what I'm going to do, I can't really decide on the color that I want to do my little star. I'm kind of thinking of mustard yellow tones. I'm going to be doing blends. I always usually do blends on things, but I'm thinking of something yellowish to kind of bring out because this guy, I'm getting ready to paint this up a little bit here. Um, is going to be along the lines of blue tones. I'm going to be doing blues and some turquoise and kind of mix it up a little bit. We'll see what happens because when I do this, I just kind of roll with it. I got a general idea in mind and then we see how it turns out. So I want to start with a little bit of navy. I do want to do the faces, but I think I'm going to do the faces after I do this part here. Loving all the textures. I know, to me, that's one of the things too. I've always been a texture person. And I know, Melanie, you used to have your business doing faux painting and decorative painting. I did the same thing. So I'm a texture person all the way. And I love it when I can integrate textures. And that's one thing I love about clay is that there's so many textures involved with it. All right, so let me add a little. I'm just adding on some navy and a little bit of this. Don't use your teeth, Kim, right? Okay, I gotta use my teeth because, uh-oh, this one ain't mixed at all. But I love using metallics too. I am so stuck on metallics. I don't know why. I just can't get away from them. And those color shift paints are so awesome as well. So mix it up. Just need a little bit of that teal. And what else I want to work with? Maybe a little tan. Yeah. So, I guess anybody else play an instrument or has played an instrument before? Be curious to hear because I love when people talk about music as well. Let me see. I need a brush. Let me use the same old guy that I had here and kind of wipe it off a little bit. All right, so we're going to see what we got when we start putting these colors on. This is when everything starts coming alive, really, when you add colors. This, by the way, usually you guys see things raw. This is how this looks when it's baked, and it just hasn't enough. And look, there's the back of it. I had the aluminum foil in there, and you could easily leave the aluminum foil into it, but once it's baked, it's pretty hard. You don't need that, but it looks like it's solid. Isn't that kind of cool? It's a cool little trick or hack or whatever. Yeah, I know the metallics do make everything look so elegant and regal. You're right, Miss Lydia. All right, so I'm gonna start with a little bit of this. I'm gonna go this dark blue. And then I'm just going to kind of sit. I'll have to play with it a little bit. But you can see also what I was talking about. I don't know, it almost looks like it's Kurt. I'm like, does that look like a girl? Like it's got pigtails. But what I did is I took a little bead of and I could do this a lot better, honestly. I've got an extruder that would make this perfect, but I hand rolled this little guy out because I don't care about perfection. I like things that are a little bit, more organic and not so perfect all the time. That's just my style, more whimsical and whatnot. So I just left it like that. I just kind of winged it in, but I put these little curly cues on the top there, and I'll end up maybe I'll integrate a little bit of maybe some gold touch or something like that. Yeah, like I said, I might end up having to play with the colors after we're off the live to kind of get it because I'm so involved in talking to you guys that I don't pay attention to my colors as much as I should. But that's kind of cool right there. And that texture that comes up like that, you can see all that texture. Because what I want to do is I want to get inside there and kind of give it that sort of like, I don't know. I still call it distressed. Everybody calls it grunge or whatever the words they use these days. And I'm not going to worry about the faces either because I can always paint over those. I'm just getting the main color on right now. Hey, Gloria, how are you? And remember, like I always said, if a person doesn't like painting the clay, You can always use color blends on the clay. You can buy clay and all. You can even buy dark blue clay like this. You don't have to paint your clays, but I like the painting process too. I think that's kind of cool and probably part of it that I really enjoy. So that's why and part of it's probably I don't want to have 15 colors of clay because it gets a little costly. You can get little small ones for they're like I don't know three to about $3 for the little small bricks. But if you're mixing a lot of clay colors together, then you can have a lot of clay on hand. So and I like painting them anyway. Don't worry about the fact that it's all solid right now because I will be changing that. I just want to get the basic color on here. All right, Miss Mary, let me clean your face off a little bit, although I'm going to be painting over you. How are you, Gloria? Where are you from, darling? Have you first time watching? Are you a part of the crafty bunch? I got too many questions for you already. Anyway, just to mention that again, we are doing this nativity or manger event today in the crafty bunch. And there's a lot of crafters. We started at 9 o'clock. And anybody tell me, how long are we going today? Are we going to like 5 or something like that? And each one of us has an hour to create something really cool related to mangers or nativity scenes. And so I'm working with clay right now on mine. And let me see. I think I'm going to throw a little bit of this in here on his head. I'm just going to wing it and go for it. Like I said, my colors will end up coming out in the end. They always do. They always do. I don't want them to be like too like color. I just basically want to do their faces, and then I'm gonna add the little extra blend touches on top of them after that. I mean, what did I just say? I want to make sure just their faces are a different color, except and the rest of the bodies is going to be kind of the same. This one I'll put a little bit touch here. I'm a first time, and you're an amazing. Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much for saying that. I think we're all amazing. We all have creativity in our own way, in our own fashion. Yes, darling. Yes. See? Okay. I'm married to a Mexican, so sometimes I say see. I'm in the habit of saying see for yes. So don't, if you hear me say that sometimes, you know what I'm talking about. Even my daughter says, Mom, you're saying see. Well, yeah. I mean, in another language, it means yes. So why not? All right. So admire all your work. Robert, is that you? I bet that's my first prime Facebook user. You're very beautiful. Robert, man, be quiet. That's my husband. You guys, that's my husband. I can tell by the way he's yeah. All right. You're trying to fake me out. All right. So anyway, like what I'm doing at that point is see how I'm kind of like taking some of it off and it's going to create blends. And I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in there as well and just kind of keep blending it till I get it to the colors I like. I love doing the color blends and creating the textures. And then I'm going to take off a little bit here because I really didn't want all of that. I just wanted to get it in the crevices to kind of give it that kind of a distressed look, that kind of aged look to it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little extra color on top of it. So it's starting to come alive. You see, the one thing that's kind of cool about working with clay is like when you roll the textures on like that, and you can't see them so well, but once you paint it, they start popping out and they look kind of cool. So that's how you can really get a good eyeball on it. Is once, like I said, once you start putting that on there. All right, for their faces, I'm going to do it in tan. And like I said, I'm not worried about the fact that I got a little bit of that on there. This is called Spit and Shine, guys. I do have a baby wipe next to me, but I just, all right, does anybody else actually like do that? I know that's really gross, but like I'm using my tongue to like clean up. I got a little bit. I don't know. I just, that's the way I work. Kind of grab it. All right. So actually, the color's not bad in itself, but and all in all, Jesus wasn't a white man. He was. We don't know exactly what his coloring was, but being Jewish, he was probably more a little bit on the darker complected side. We don't really know, but he definitely wasn't the Scandinavian blonde and blue-eyed male. We do know that much. At least I'm pretty sure he wasn't that. So I'm going to go ahead and use this kind of a camel color and kind of do that right now. So pretty. Yeah, I do love the blending. Like I said, I'm going to add a little bit of metallic in there as well. want to get a coat on this first because I have to do several coats like this. When you straight, that's one thing about cleaning. Well, on the baked clay, it gets streaky, and you have to do a couple coats. It's like I said, kind of like painting ceramics. I might have to fix that part up there. So I like to do a few coats on this, and like I said, I probably won't be able to get all the coats done here before we're done. And then, oh baby Jesus, come on there, you're looking like a little ball of something. Okay, so we got that going on, but I'm going to add a little bit extra too. I want to add a little touch of like maybe lime green or like a mustard yellow. Speaking of which, I guess I need to do my, I'm going to let that dry because I have to do some other blends, but I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'm going to switch over here to my star. And what do you guys think for the star? As a composition, I'm kind of liking the yellow, yellows and blues, but I'm thinking about doing a mustard yellow and maybe doing a little bit of metallic over top of that. But see how it's kind of coming together so far, except for I got it, like I said, I'm going to paint my star and I will definitely color this up a little bit. But I think it's going to be kind of cool once it's all said and done. Let me grab some mustard yellow. Did I not grab that? I looked at it and I didn't bring it. So let me grab that real quick. I think I'm going to do the mustard. Kind of like the mustard idea. And then I'll just kind of brush a little bit more of it off once it's done and add some other colors to it. I kind of want that, like I said, that grungy, or what's the other word they're using these days? Like I said, I use distressed. I'm an old school girl. That's the word I still use. That's what I was brought up in the artsy world. We call it distressed. Can't think of that other one besides grunge. Rustic. I use rustic and distress as the two I usually use. That's beautiful, Kim. Oh, it's Jan. There you go. Now I see you. I see you as Fine Again Finds. But on your personal name, Jan, you came up as Facebook user on StreamYard. So, all right. So now, see, you can see how that lovely texture comes out. You can see the texture better when you do it that way. Once you get it painted. And I'm just trying to punch that in there because I want to get all those little texture holes kind of filled in. And one thing too, when you're painting these, is make sure you remember you got edges. You got to paint your edges too. And this has got holes, so if you want to get inside the holes, you can. And you can just use a smaller brush to get inside those holes. Yeah, and I don't know why it's not showing up, Jan, with your actual like personal name. That's odd. But anyway, for those that don't know some of these other ladies and they're coming on as their business page, definitely go over there and check everybody out and join up on their pages because everyone in this group does amazing stuff, amazing stuff. And I'm so impressed with everything that goes on in this group. And we've got a lot of really fun things coming up in the next few weeks for Christmas. And we're going to be doing some sort of like countdown at the end of the last Wednesday of the month. We got like a New Year's Eve countdown where we're going to go through memories. And I will be doing some giveaways, believe it or not. I got some ideas going on. I'm going to use my little StreamYard giveaway tool, but that's just the basic color there. And I'll throw some other colors on there. Hey, Robin, here we got. Let me look up. Dirty It Up. Dirty It Up. Oh, Dirty It Up. That's another name. Yeah, this is beautiful, Kim. It's me, Jan. Beautiful craft Robin's Nest. Hello, Robin. How are you, darling? Yeah, Dirty It Up. That's another term that they use, right? Okay. So I need to like leave it that color. I could put a heat gun on it, but I don't really want to do that right now. The one thing that's kind of interesting about polymer clay too, everybody wants to put their heat guns when they're painting. If you do that with the polymer clay when it's raw, it'll start curing the clay, and that's probably not a no-no. It's not what you want to do. String wire through the slat holes. Oh, thank you. I was wondering. I wanted to put some sort of something in there, but they're small. Wire is a great idea, Missy. Absolutely. And I do have some. I'll have to pull it out and look for it, but I've got some wire. Thank you for that tip, Miss Melanie. But yeah, so you don't want to blow dry. Like if you painted a piece of raw clay, you don't want to put your heat gun on it because it can overheat it and start it to cure. Once it's baked like this, you can do it a little bit. In fact, I guess I will. Why not? I got a little bit extra time. I'll go ahead and do that. Why it's whatnot. Thank you, Miss Judy. Appreciate that. I've got the industrial heat gun here. All right. I used to mute all the time when I would do my heat gun, but I don't know if it's making that much noise. I wear an earbud. And oh, 8 p.m. it ends. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Angie. So 8 p.m. Eastern time. Dang, that's a long day. That's 9 to 8. Ooh, that's a lot of crafters, you guys. Lots of crafters. If you cannot make all of them, please go do the hashtag replays. Go back and check them out and look over it a little bit more. This one, I want to throw something. I want gold. How about we throw some gold and see what happens with this? This might not show up too much because it's got that yellow underneath, but we'll see. Because sometimes, with the metallics, they're very transparent. But this one, I want to kind of put a little bling jazz on there, and I might end up doing that with the other as well. But I want to put some other color on there too. I gotta dirty it up a little bit, as Miss Mary from the Painted Peach says. Okay, so I got a little bit of stuff on there. And oh, how about copper, guys? Maybe copper. A little bit of copper. This is where I get kind of like crazy with my colors. I start putting all these dang colors on here. just start winging it with colors. All right. I'm gonna put a little touch of brown. Then if I don't like that, I'll put some copper. Maybe copper would be cool. But yes, I definitely will do some wire. I'll put some wire through here for sure. And I might even put a little touch of white on this too, because I do have a little bit of, I'm going to have a little bit of white going on in the body. Let's see, I'm looking about 6 minutes. Still doing good. All right. All right. So I got a little brown. Brown's always the way to go. Brown, black are good for grunging, dirtying, distressing, whatever you want to do. And, there's a lot of really great distressing mediums out there. I've used some of them, and a lot of times I just use regular old acrylic paint. Yeah, I just find that unless you need a thicker gel or something, and you're just dabbing it on. What is that stuff? The Rub and Buff and the Tim Holtz and all that. I mean, those are awesome too because they're heavier, and they just do like a little bit of dusting here and there. So I just want to give it a little bit of down grungy. Add that little touch of brown on there. Crafting with Robinson. Oh, hello. Yeah, hi there, Miss Robin. Robin, I'm sorry. I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Are you new, Robin, to our group or page or whatever? Heat tool. What about the heat tool there, Miss Lydia? What were you saying about that, darling? Let's see how the yellow. I think the yellow is going to be kind of cool, and I'll probably add a little touch of yellow in the body as well with the guy, and I mean in his robe. But what I was thinking about doing, I'm going to add more colors in here, guys, trust me, but is trying to incorporate this strip here. I just love this little strip. And I wanted to, this is raw, but one thing that's kind of cool about the raw paint, excuse me, what am I trying to say? One thing that's kind of neat about polymer clay is that you can actually rebake it even though it's painted. So I've got, this is all painted and it's all hard and it's been baked, but I've got this piece here. I can still add this on here and rebake it just fine. And I am liking that. Once I get my colors on here, I think I'm going to go ahead and add it. It just looks like a strip on his robe. I think it's kind of cool. It adds a little extra something different. But you can actually I'll use some of I'm not going to put it on now, this little glue. It's actually like a glue that gets baked with polymer clay. And I'll put that strip down there and cut that to size and put that on there. I think that's kind of neat. And so that's where some of my white's going to come in on that. Yeah, isn't that kind of cool? Turn out kind of cool. All right, so I want to be careful with it though, because I don't want it to rip. See how thin you can get this stuff? You can get really thin with this. You need a pasta maker for that though, because otherwise, yeah, and you don't eat it, of course. Mica powder. Yeah, you know me. I love the mica powders. Yeah, I'd have to blend a little bit of those. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to be filling around with my colors too much right now because I got about 4 minutes left. Please don't use the word I do it to Facebook doesn't like it. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that word is. GNL. Okay, you'll have to tell me on the side on that one. What word am I not like? Oh, I get you. Okay, yes. Tool. Yes. Our heat tool. My bad. Yes, I know. Oh my goodness. Good gracious. Got it. Tool. All right. So, yep. that's pretty much what I've got so far, except for a little bit more blending and painting I've got on my little guy here. But that's what I'm going to do before I actually attach this piece to here. Another thing I was thinking about doing, guys, if I can work it out, is once I get it all attached, what I wanted to do is I was thinking about putting a little base out here. I could bring this up like a little bit, a base out here, so you could set a little candle on here and like hang it up on the wall. I might incorporate that because I have a little piece left over from my wood, and I can actually like put a little base and have one of those little tea candles or a little tea light or something like that. And that way, when it sits up, it'll actually be really cool, and you can have like a little light on it. You guys like that idea? You like the idea of the light? What I'd have to do is get some braces on the back and make it so it's nice and secured and glue it on there real good. But I do have that extra piece to put on there. So yeah, so that's pretty much it, guys. And even the saying, like I said, I found the one who my soul loves. I think it kind of works for, for holidays. Yeah, great, great, great. You like the idea of the light? Okay, cool. I'll do the light then. All right. Well, I've got about 2 minutes and I'm not getting off early. Don't worry, Angie. No, I did that one day. I almost switched my camera over. Kids my camera over here. So you guys got a general idea of what I did here. Webcam, webcam. All right, yeah. So here, stocking over here. There we go. Yeah, cute. I've got this on too, by the way. Like I said, my little cocoa. I'm sorry, Angie, I didn't wear my yellow shirt that's not a Crafty Bunch shirt yet because I wanted to be kind of Christmassy and I wanted it to match my hat. So I'll have it on next time, I promise. One of those electric candles. But yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. Something that's electric. And my little cowabunga, guys, I know that didn't photograph very well, but I actually strung the lights around the back of that thing, and it looks so darn cool on the wall, lit up in that little frame, that little, if you guys remember that, my little tropical Christmas snowman that I did. But yeah, it's hard to photograph like things that are lit up like that. I couldn't do it. Hey there, Ray, how are you? So, but yeah, I'm jazzed once again to be here, and I'm glad that this is actually turning out because when I was making it, I was like, I don't know, yeah, but it's coming together, and I'm liking it. So I hope you guys like it, and you know that I'll post a good picture of it and get it all finished up, and yeah, so that's about it. Everybody, please give all the love you can shares and everything else for all the other crafters. And like I said, coming up now is Miss Wendy from Simply Bewitching Crafts, and she's excellent. I'm telling you, she's really great. Wonderful things that she does. I hope to be back. Actually, I'll be back, I think, for the New Year's thing. That'll be my next one. And join me, join everybody else. And oh yeah, absolutely. Hey, Lena, tomato. There's another one, which is tomato. She's not Lena. But I love you guys, and I'm going to rock out of here now and give everybody else their time. But once again, always fun, always great. Bye bye. Merry Christmas to everybody. Bye bye.